Well, it's around about 4 o'clock in the morning, and you may ask yourself, what am I doing up at this ungodly hour? Well, the fact is, we're off to Snettisham to do some bird filming, and we've been there 3 or 4 times before and got some decent footage, but we've never really studied the tides. And if you go on the RSPB website, you can download a timetable of the best times and dates to visit when you can catch the rising tide. So I've done that, and as you can see, it's March the 11th 2012. Advise you to get to the car park at 6:15, so that's what we're going to do. So off we go. Well, here we are at Snettisham. Just got to the car park about 6:15, dead on time. Just going to make our way up to the hides, about a mile and a half away. Quite a few people here as well. Car park's full. Sun's just rising. We're on the beach now and looking out. Good mixture of birds. Tide's coming in quite fast. We've got some shelled up, dunlins, knot, sanderlings, a few godwit, and of course quite a few oyster catcher. Some single ones and some pairs not too far away, and some bigger flocks further out. But it's a great atmosphere here. Lots of people here. Really is worth checking the tide timetables. Lots of shell duck as well. Don't think I've ever seen quite as many shell duck together. The males, of course, in their breeding plumage with a big lump on the top of the bill. Beautiful colours. And as I said, got some godwit out there, bar-tailed and black-tailed. Also a few smaller birds in the bushes. Beach got done up there. I can't quite make out what these birds are. There could be linnets or redpoll or even a twite. I can't quite make out from here. But this is a real bonus. Look, just in front of us on the beach, about 25 yards away, snow buntings. Fantastic. They're probably just on their way back north to their breeding grounds. But I filmed some of these at Cly a couple of years ago, but this is a much better view. Well, the tide's coming in quite fast now. A lot of people gathered on the beach, getting in position to see the spectacle of the birds coming off the mud. Quite a few of the waders are flying around now, trying to find patches of mud that are not covered in water. Fantastic sight. It really is a beautiful spring day, early spring day. Weather couldn't be better. We've got 4 Brent geese flying in as well now to join the throng of waders. And look at that fantastic sight, the oyster catcher being forced along by the tide, walking along on the mud as it comes in ever faster. Absolutely fantastic sight. They're just leaving the mud now, starting to fly overhead, mainly oyster catcher coming over us. And they'll go to the lagoons at the back of the beach and wait for the tide to go out. And that's where we're going to go now, to the hides there, see what we can see. Well, we're in the hides now, or one of them. There's about 3 or 4 that overlook the lagoon, and as I say, a lot of people here having to wait our turn to get a look out the windows. But that's the view from this side, right at the end of the old gravel pit, which has become a lagoon. And look at the fantastic sight. The bank there is literally almost covered with birds, oyster catchers, and knot. When you first look out, it just look like rock, but there's just thousands and thousands of these knot, all jostling for position. And all these birds will just wait here until the tide starts to go out again, which is quite soon. It's only about an hour or so before it starts to go out again. A fantastic sight of these avocet here as well. I don't think I've ever seen so many wild avocet all together. Fantastic sight. Didn't see any of those on the beach, but they obviously came from somewhere. Absolutely gorgeous in this light as well. If you're into bird watching and you've never been here, you've got to come and look at this, but study the tide times. Thousands and thousands of oyster catcher as well on the bank and on some of the islands in the middle of the lagoon. There's a circular walk here as well. You walk up along the beach and then you can come to these hides right at the end and sort of circle back to the entrance to the beach. These are oyster catchers, as I said. They don't actually eat oysters though, but apparently I heard that the same species in America does actually eat oysters, but in this country they'll eat cockles and other sorts of shellfish. Well, as well as all the waders, there's quite a few other birds here. There's a lovely pair of dabchick, the male there in his full breeding plumage now. Also a nice male goldeneye out there. Really stunning in this light. I think these are juvenile common gulls. Also got grey lag geese as well. Shell duck having a bath. We're going to head back to the beach now to catch the birds coming back from the lagoon, because the tide's going out, so they'll be heading back onto the mud now to feed. A few of them are starting to come in dribs and drabs. The flocks are getting steadily bigger as more and more birds make their way back from the lagoon to the beach. You really hear them whoosh overhead. It's really impressive. More and more birds coming now. Fantastic sight. Wow, a lot just gone overhead. Brilliant. You'll get a big flock come over and then a smaller one, but I think most people are waiting for the real biggie when the majority apparently all come up at once. It'll be a sight to see. And there they go. Wow. A huge flock there, mainly knot. Absolutely fantastic. Well, most of the birds are back on the mud now, and they'll start feeding, and they'll stay out there until it's time to roost, and a lot of them, I suppose, will come to roost back on the lagoon there. Most of these birds stay in such huge flocks as a way of a defence against predators like peregrine falcons and so on. Well, what an absolutely fantastic day that was. Well worth getting up for in the morning. But it's a mile and a half back to the car now. So I'll see you next time.